There we go. That's it. Check, 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 check.
We might have it. Is it working?
I don't know. There we go. That's it. Check, 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 check. Yep, it is.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
we're good. Goodbye. Check, check, check,
Okay.
check. Yep, it is.
Oh,
Yep,
all right.
we're good.
Hey,
we got a show to do, man.
All right. See ya.
Yep, it is. Yep,
All right.
we're good. Hey, we got a show to do, man. All right, hit it. Hit the music.
Hang on. All right.
Oh.
All right.
Hey, we got a show to do, man. All right, hit it. Hit the music.
Hang on.
We're getting audio from something else somewhere. All right, hit it. Hit the music.
It's the delay.
Audio from something else somewhere. All right, hit it. Hit the music.
It's the delay.
Audio from something else. Huh. All right, hit it. Hit the music.
How's that?
Did you kill it? Check, check.
Can you hear me?
Do it again.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
Are we live?
Do it again.
Check, check, check.
I can hear you.
I can hear myself now.
Yep, I can hear you.
I hope our
Hang on.
loyal listeners.
Keep talking.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here we are. We're still trying to work out the bugs a little bit. And our sound's been a little bit of a problem so far. We got the audio working. We dearly miss Greg. And Josh is trying to see if we're working here. Is it?
We're good.
We're good.
We are hot. Okay.
All right.
Sorry
here
about
we
that.
are.
Sorry about that late start, folks. Obviously, our chief engineer is out today, and we are dealing with. Whoa, sorry about that. We are dealing with trying to get things working without our chief engineer in stuck in beta studio.
You're gonna have yourself a drink finally after.
Finally, yeah,
all the
I'm
stress
pouring my first drink and
we've
trying to
gone
get this show up and running. Man, this is hard work.
All right, so here we are, stuck in beta, episode number 34.
34.
Yes.
Right?
That's what we agreed to.
Okay.
And it's just the Joshes this week.
It is just the Joshes. Man, there is so much to do.
Yeah, I know. So there's just two guys. You guys have done this before without me. Obviously, I think Greg might be a pretty big part of this show.
Well, this is his studio.
That's right.
So, yeah, you could say Greg's a big part of this show. Speaking of Greg, where is Greg?
Where is Greg? So Greg is honeymooning.
Yeah, we just talked to him too.
Yeah.
He
was available.
He was, which is weird.
Unbelievably.
I didn't hear anything weird going on in the background either, so I assume he's not honeymooning, not doing that stuff.
Oh. Well, Molly was really concerned about her dogs, though.
She was. She in the background, you could hear her. Yeah.
And you can now hear her dogs barking in the background.
Yeah, she says, "Are my dogs still alive?" Yes. I think Jordan's watching the dogs. Jordan's house sitting. Jessica. Anyway, there's a kid here house sitting. Not a kid. She's an adult. House sitting for Greg. And watching the studio while they're gone. Molly commented and said, well, I won't say what she says, but Greg is driving. We'll just put it that way.
Molly says, can you turn it up?
Yeah. Welcome to the live show. We're past that.
Oh. How do you do that?
I have it on my phone. I'm seeing real time messaging on my phone. I don't get it.
All right. And that says Greg is the key?
Greg is key is what Annette says. Yeah. You're right. Scroll down because the newest ones are at the top.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a new one there from Molly.
She says I'm having a good time.
Yeah, Molly's having a good time. So, what have we done this week, Josh, or in the last week?
Well, do you want to, I don't know. Do you want to jump right into the main topic?
No,
of the wedding.
Do you have anything else to cover besides that?
I guess the only thing that has really stood out is I had a couple trees cut down in my yard today.
Did you use Timberline?
I used Timberline on your
Did they do
recommendation.
a good job?
Fantastic job.
Awesome.
Yep. I
Good.
got a big mess to clean up though because I didn't pay for the extra.
Yeah, double the cost to have them clean it up.
I just had them drop the trees and
now was
cut
it
up in small pieces.
EJ?
Ben.
I had EJ. Ben's the owner.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Yeah.
I've been working with him just to work out the details and all that. It was really good. So it was really cool to see. He actually got out, climbed up in the tree, and started cutting it down. I've never seen that.
It's amazing to watch them work, isn't it?
It's like they're
part howler monkey and
like monkey.
Yeah. So, how close were they to structure?
Mine's about 50 or so feet away from my house.
Oh, okay. So you didn't have like a fence or your shed or anything
no.
to worry. Yeah. See, I wonder if that's why they sent out 2 guys to do mine.
I had 4 guys.
Oh, holy cow!
Yeah, they showed up with a second truck.
Were they able to go back there with the truck, or did they have to? Okay.
No. It was just tying off and climbing up.
Yep.
It's
neat
cool.
to watch them, isn't it? I mean,
impressive.
it's really cool and that's when you know you have a professional on the job, is when they're able to do that kind of stuff and like not even think twice about doing it. It's amazing.
It is neat to watch. It's well worth the
I completely
cost.
agree. I completely agree with you.
So that's been my only excitement, non-wedding related.
Excitement.
Probably.
I don't think we've really had any excitement besides the festivities of the weekend.
I know. That's all, and we're still kind of living that out,
really. So it all started. Let's see. I picked up my tux Wednesday before the show. No.
Yep.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So we had our tuxes at the last show.
Right.
And we kind of talked about that, picking that up. So Thursday was the rehearsal dinner. Yeah. And that was a blast. That was at a local restaurant in Imperial. Great Italian food. Family-owned restaurant.
Yeah.
And so
at that dinner, Greg and Molly both gifted their wedding party with our special gifts that we got.
Yeah. So they handed out bags. They handed out bags to each one of their attendants, and in the bag was, let's see, now I don't know what the ladies got. Lori got.
Stuff.
Yeah, did they get a better deal?
Probably. Lori got all kinds of stuff. She got a lot of very useful stuff too.
Really?
She started packing her purse full of all these items. So she got like a coffee mug.
Oh wow.
An umbrella.
Where's my coffee mug, Greg?
And I don't know, they got all kinds of stuff, but everybody in the wedding party got the Converse sneakers.
Which I have never owned a pair of Chuck Taylors in my life.
Me either.
Until then.
Yep.
So to go back onto the disparity between the ladies and the men and what they received, I wonder if it had to do with the ladies had to buy their dress, right?
Yeah.
And we had to rent our tux. The tux was what, $150, $170, something?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah, around there.
Something in there.
Something like that.
Was that appreciably less than what Lori had to spend on her dress?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Damn, I'm trying to rationalize why.
Why? You feeling slighted here?
Well, no, I like the gifts. I enjoy I wore my Chuck Taylors all weekend. I wore them Sunday.
Somebody's saying I'm not as loud.
You're not as loud. Okay, we can solve that.
All right.
Greg's just. You know why I'm loud?
Yeah, you're on Greg's mic.
I'm on Greg's mic. That's exactly why I'm loud.
Yep.
I'm on Greg's mic. Yeah.
We're starting to figure some of the stuff
out. We're how the magic really happens in the studio. Yeah. My mic is no different than yours. Sure, Greg. So yeah, that's Greg chiming in from
he's
honeymoon land.
As stuck in beta.
Yeah. So Greg, watch the chat room for us. So yeah. So let's see. We got Chuck Taylors.
We got the Chucks. We got
socks.
And a
T-shirt. And the Leatherman.
Oh yeah,
right?
That's cool.
Which is really cool. Leatherman tools are awesome. So the T-shirts we got are comic heroes.
Yeah, T-shirts and socks. Our socks matched our T-shirts.
Right. And you were.
I was Daredevil.
I got Deadpool, which my wife's like, you got Deadpool? I'm like, I'm foul-mouthed and sarcastic, so it fits really well. He's my hero.
Hero.
I mean, that's a good hero to look up to, right?
Yeah.
Deadpool? Why not?
Sure.
Yeah. If I could look like Ryan Reynolds, man, it'd be awesome.
Oh, yeah. That was a really cool game.
That was a great evening, too. I mean, just overall, the food, the families, Molly's parents and her brother and their families and her friends and Greg's family and friends. It was just a really, really good evening. Got to know a little bit. I sat next to Jeff, so I heard all kinds of stories and his eventful tuxedo picking up exchange that happened.
I think Jeff ran into the most tuxedo-related problems out of
everyone. Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
So let's see, what all did he
So well, let's start with Thursday night.
Yeah.
So he sits down at the rehearsal dinner next to me and says, "Oh, did you have to get suspenders with your tux?" I'm like, "No, there was no suspenders with the tux. I didn't have to get suspenders." So he starts telling this story where the I guess you'd call him the attendant or the worker person is, Jeff goes to get his tux and you have to try it on before you leave because that's their policy, blah, 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 blah. If there's something wrong, you can, and this is the weird part.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong, they can get something there overnighted.
Yeah.
So he proceeds to tell this story that his pants, as he put it, were big, but not big enough to fall off unless he got physical, which I'm not quite sure what he meant by got physical. But so he said the guy told him he had to have suspenders, and the guy helped. Like the way Jeff told the story is the gentleman who happened, he thinks to be homosexual, was putting his hands in Jeff's pants trying to assist him to put these suspenders on. Jeff said at one point, the attendant loosens up his pants so that he can get his hands in there more. And at that point, Jeff said his pants started to fall, like literally fall off. So he's grabbing his pants, trying to keep him from falling off. So he has to wear these suspenders, and he shows up at the rehearsal dinner just suspenders.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to know Jeff, and it was hilarious to hear him tell that story.
About it.
Yeah, it was funny.
But so that was the first issue with his tux. And then, so I guess Saturday morning rolls around, and we're all getting dressed over at their parents' house, and he comes out, and he's got these sleeves that are like a foot too long.
Yeah. I don't know that they were a foot too long, but yes, they were a good 4 inches.
Like he could have easily flipped that over, and it still would have been
easily
too long.
Yeah, and I remember whenever I tried my tux on, the lady asked me because my suit jacket, the sleeves on my jacket were a hair too long.
Okay.
And she says, we can do one of 3 things about this. She said, we can leave it alone. I can take your jacket in the back room and hem up that sleeve a little bit so that your shirt cuff, I guess, sticks out a little bit like it's supposed to.
Right.
Or I can get you a bigger shirt. I didn't really care about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, unless it's like horribly faux pas not to deal with this, I said, I'm leaving. I don't want to deal with it. And I'm glad I did, because I would have ended up with another size larger shirt.
Right.
Which would have been the same shirt Jeff was wearing, which the sleeves would have probably come down to my fingertips.
But shirts don't go by sizes, do they?
Well,
they go by inches?
He said, yes,
they measure
neck.
The
neck inch, and then I assume
thought it was
arm
wrist.
length.
Yeah.
But if you looked in your shirt, you have a X, a L, XL, 2X. I had a 2XL. Jeff had a 3XL. So I don't know. I assume I would have had the same problem. So yeah, we started making fun of him straight away. I mean, yeah.
I didn't know if it was a situation where he just was like, I thought it was funny because it looked like his jacket was too small.
Yes.
And so his sleeves are sticking way out. And then immediately, or I guess shortly after the ceremony, he got the nickname of Sleeves.
Right. Because it did. The way, if you would see him, you would swear that his cuff for his jacket, the end of his jacket sleeve was at his elbows. I mean, the shirt was so white and sticking out so much at the end of his arm, it looked like he had a foot of sleeve there.
It was funny.
It was really funny. So you come over to my house at, what time was it? 9?
9 o'clock in the morning.
So you picked me up at 9.
Yeah.
And the intention was, for some reason, I had it in my head, we had to come to Greg's house and pick Greg up. But in actuality, Greg was already at his parents' house. But being good groomsmen, and you were the best man, fulfilling our duty to make sure that he showed up, we drove by the house just to make sure that he was actually not home panicking.
Got to get him to the chapel.
Right,
That's
exactly. That's our duty. So he wasn't home, so we drove up to Greg's mom and dad's and got ready and met Mr. Sleeves and got Logan ready, and it was a good time. Greg's parents are awesome.
Yeah.
It was a good time. We took some pictures. Then, let's see, we followed Greg to the hotel, right? Because he had to drop his car off at the hotel
at the Hilton
where they were staying that night. So that was interesting. Downtown traffic.
Yeah. So I think we were all like a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and you could tell the closer we got and the slower things got with downtown traffic, Greg was getting more and more nervous, whether he would admit it. Right,
maybe
anxious.
Not nervous, but anxious.
That's probably the better term. Whether he would admit it or not.
And then so we dropped it off at the hotel, and then we made our way over to Schlafly Brewery, which is where the reception was going to be.
Tap room, yep.
And we, lo and behold, we get there, and we realize we're like, what, half an hour, 45 minutes early?
We got there
needing to be at
like,
the
5 after 11, 11:20, or 10 after 11. So we were meeting my wife and your wife, Annette and Lori, up there. So I called Annette, and she said, well, the GPS says we're not going to be there until about 11:30. Just hang out.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you hang out at a brewery?
That was one of my, for the entire day, that was one of my most favorite moments.
I agree completely.
We were able to
go ahead.
After kind of rushing around through the morning and being kind of nervous, and we had to figure out all that car situation, like, oh, we got to get Greg here. We got to get, we got cars going in multiple different directions. Your wife had a car. My wife had a car. We had 4 cars like out and about, and we were trying to figure out the best way to get everybody where they needed to be. And then we had just this moment of like just
chill.
Oh, shoot, we got like 45 minutes to kill.
Right.
And we're at a brewery.
Right.
And we were able to like kick
so
back
I finally convinced, let's go inside, because it was kind of chilly Saturday morning, and the wind was blowing, so it was kind of chilly. So finally decided to go inside and have a seat at the bar. And boy, that bartender was really cool.
Yeah, he was.
We ordered what was it, 5 tasters?
Tasters, yeah.
It was like, what, 3 ounces a piece or something like that, 4 ounces a piece.
Yeah.
And we were getting ready to pay, and he says, nah, don't worry about it. It's we'll take care of it. Consider it, I don't know what he said, something about
early wedding gift.
Yeah, early wedding gift, because that's where we were Greg was having the reception, which was really cool. It was by far one of my favorite photos of the day. Was the photo I got of you and Greg sitting at the bar. That was awesome. Yeah. That was a good part of the day. So after that, though, was something I had never done before, and I don't think so
we were uber virgins.
And that's no longer the case. So we had to get from Schlafly Tap Room downtown, which is just off Market Street, at about 10th Street, 8th Street, somewhere in there.
Oh, it's further than that, wasn't it? Like 18th or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you're right. Yeah, it's probably 16th or 18th Street.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had to get from there to Forest Park at the Jewel Box, and there was the whole ordeal was about limos and cars being parked at the right place at the right time. So our plan was to leave our cars at the tap room so that when we got off the limo or off the bus, our cars were there.
Right.
And we didn't have to go back to Forest Park.
It was super complicated. We made it complicated. But it was tough to figure out.
We probably did make it complicated because of our inability to make a decision. The three of us, me, you, and Greg combined, can't make a decision, it seems like. So it was that day before we really figured out, okay, we're doing this, and I think that even changed 2 or 3 times throughout the day. But anyway, we downloaded the Uber app, and I said, it was awesome. You say, I'm going here, blah, 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 get me a car.
Mm-hmm. And
it says, okay, here's your car. We've contacted, I think my guy's name was like Uzi. It was Uezei or something like that. And the coolest thing, I don't know if you've ever used Uber before, but listeners, it on the interface, when it contacts your driver, it literally shows you on the map where your driver is en route to your location, which is really cool if you're waiting for, if you're sitting in a bar having a beer, you say, I need a ride home, you can watch the driver show up to where you are, to the bar, which I think is really, really cool. So,
And the whole time we were there, we could also watch on the map and see that there was like about 6 cars right around us.
That was
really close.
Yeah, I didn't realize that there were that many cars in the area that were Uber cars. But so my plan, the original plan was, there's different versions of Uber. There's Uber X, Uber XL, Premium, Black. I don't know, those kind of versions. Sorry, I'm 1.5 drinks in. But my plan was that if we could find one to get an XL, because the XL 6 people, we had 5 people plus I think 1 or 2 coolers, and that would have been perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, there were no XLs that morning, so Annette and I got an X with the cooler, and then you guys got an X with Greg, right?
But you had like a little, what was it, sedan? Just a little Kia sedan?
Yeah, it was like a little Kia 4-door.
And mine shows up, and it's a van.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
It could have easily fit all of us and the coolers.
You're kidding.
No. I mean, we were comfortable in there, but...
Wow.
Yeah, plus the front seat. So Greg sat in the front, and then we sat in the middle.
Really? Well, you had the worst driver. You had the worst of the 2 drivers,
yeah,
right?
I mean, it wasn't a bad experience. I gave the guy 5 stars.
Yeah, I gave our guy 5 stars. He was great.
I don't know if you ever saw that Saturday Night Live skit.
Yeah. Oh, no, not Saturday Night Live. It was in a movie recently. Oh, Christmas Party.
Oh, was it?
That movie that came out at Christmas with Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yeah.
And the lady is driving Uber, and she's driving Jennifer Aniston.
Right.
But anyway.
But it was in a Saturday Night Live skit, too, where... what's the Aziz Ansari, the comedian? He was
Aziz Ansari.
Sorry. But the whole thing was, I guess you can rate you rate the driver, but the driver can actually rate the
as a customer
too.
Yes.
So the whole time they're like trying to make sure that they're
really
gonna get 5 stars.
Oh, that's funny.
Because their average had dipped a little bit. It was like at 4.1, so they were trying to get it. So the whole time I'm kind of thinking that. I don't know why that skit was in my mind.
So you were making jokes with the driver and stuff?
Well, no, I didn't. We were like, it was kind of awkward because we just all stayed so quiet, and we're like, yeah, hey, we're almost there. And then we're getting.
So
off
you're from around here?
we're getting off the exit ramp, and then his GPS is telling him, it's saying, turn right here, and he's like, oh, let's go left.
Okay. What's wrong with your voice? What'd you do there?
Bit of an accent.
Oh, okay.
So
to clear your throat.
Yeah.
There was something in your throat. Okay.
So Greg convinced him that he had to go right, and
he grabbed the steering wheel and turned for him.
That was the only. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but
I will totally do it again.
Oh yeah.
If we travel, so cool. If we fly somewhere, Vegas, something like that, I would totally do it again.
And our trip was like $12.
Yeah, $11.76, something like that. Yeah.
I've told this. One of the only other times that I've used a cab in downtown St. Louis, I went like 3 blocks. Now, granted, it was like a Saturday evening. I think it was right around Valentine's Day. But I went 3 blocks in a cab and spent like $8 one way and like $11 coming back the other way, the same distance.
Can cabs change their fare?
Oh, I'm sure.
I don't think they do, because if you look on their door, they've got their fares posted. I don't think they can. Now, they will charge you more depending on, like, if you have 4 people in the car and a bag. They can charge you more for that kind of stuff. But their per mile rate, I don't think is supposed to change. And that's where Uber can get you.
Okay.
Is when there's a high usage time, like St. Louis has some of the basketball tournaments or something, they can I forget what like a flex charge or something like that. They can increase their fare more than normal, and that's some people have complained about that. But I don't think regular taxis can do that.
Maybe not.
But
I don't...
either way, it would have worked out to be. You went 3 blocks and got charged $11.
Right.
We went a couple miles. Yeah. I mean, you're talking. We were on Highway 40 for a good 5 minutes, going 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking the total trip was probably 10 minutes, 12 minutes, right?
Right.
So you're talking probably a good 6 miles.
So it's definitely a lot cheaper.
Oh yeah, I've got friends that were in Vegas the first weekend of the NFL playoffs. So back in November, December timeframe. And they said they went from their hotel to a couple different hotels and used Uber, and said that on average it was half as much as what they would have spent with a regular taxi to do the same fare.
Wow. And
when we were in Vegas last summer, we were at the Cosmo, and it was $20 one way to get from the Cosmo up to the Wynn, or no, I shouldn't say Wynn, to what used to be the Imperial Palace, where Hash House is. It was $20 to more or less go about, maybe 3 blocks,
Oh man.
maybe 4 blocks, and they said Uber's about half. So if we travel, if we fly anywhere and don't have our own transportation, I'll do Uber over and over and over again. It was well worth the experience. Now, granted, our driver, I don't know, he was not a U.S. national. He might be a U.S. citizen, but he was not a U.S. national. Spoke English. It was slightly difficult to understand him, but you could. I mean, if you tried hard, you could understand him. And I mean, as long as he gets me from point A to point B, I really don't care.
Exactly. None of that bothered me. I mean, the whenever and the other thing was that I like about it is it's all electronic.
Yeah.
It's all,
and that's what I was confused
so
by.
Easy.
I was confused by that. We show up at the jewel box, and I tell him, I said, just let us out there. There's a stairwell on the sidewalk. I said, we're good to go here. So he goes, okay, that's fine. So he pulls over, and I open my door. He opens Annette's door. We start getting out and getting the cooler out of the trunk. And I'm standing there, like, look, and I open up the app on my phone looking for, like, a pay now button or something. And I said, what do I have to do to pay you? And he goes, oh, no, it's already done. I'm like, well, hell, that was easy. I thought there would have been some sort of confirmation that would have said, yes, you took this ride, something like that.
And you know what? I wasn't sure. Did you tip at all or anything?
I didn't see a place to do that.
I guess I was thinking, should I give the guy an extra couple bucks or anything? I don't know.
I don't know
what the standard is for Uber. But whenever I took a cab in the past, I felt compelled to give a couple extra bucks.
I agree.
You're handling cash.
Was there a place to do that in the Uber app?
Not that I could see.
I couldn't either. So okay, we're fine. We're cool. No, great experience. I would do Uber again and again, and highly recommend anyone out there listening to do Uber. If you're at a bar and have too many drinks and can't drive yourself home, it is totally worth it. So I got curious, and we're getting off the what time do we have?
We are at 5:36, so we're about a half an hour.
Okay, so we'll. Goodness, sorry. So I got curious to see what those Uber drivers make, and on their website they say that an average Uber driver can make about $40,000 a year.
Wow.
If you drive full time.
Is that after expenses? Like, I mean,
it said net. I believe it said net income.
Wow.
So, I mean, let's start Ubering in Jeff County.
Greg has said that he's interested in
He
that.
won't do it now. Now that he's married.
He has talked about part-time.
If you weren't married or didn't have kids at home, why not?
Around. Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know.
Be an easy way to make some money.
Yeah.
Greg, if you're listening, are you going to start Ubering? Wait for him.
Yeah, where's all our comments? We only got 3 live listening. Did you actually post this out on your
I did not.
See, that's
the problem.
That's the problem. You need to post that real quick.
All right, let's see if I can do this real quick.
So, I will continue the story from there. On the wedding day,
go for it.
We get Greg to the chapel.
Yes.
To the jewel box, and the ceremony. Everything, like, once we got there, it seemed like it went super, super fast. Like, it was like, okay, everybody's got to get their
I just shared, by the way.
Okay, cool. Everybody had to get their flower on. What's that called? Corsage?
Boutonniere for men.
Boutonniere. And a corsage for the ladies?
Yes.
And all that was happening so fast, and then there was this whole, and the one part I left out was I had to get Greg around to the back side.
Yeah. You guys came in the back door.
Yeah, because Molly was very superstitious about seeing him.
It's tradition, right?
So as we're walking back to the back, this is probably something that you normally would tell somebody like the day before, but he's like for some reason it just like you could see it just popped in his mind. He's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be not looking in her direction whenever she's making her way towards the aisle. And then you like nudge me or tap me on the shoulder and like tell me to turn around.
The rehearsal would have been a great place to discuss this. Yes.
I'm thinking, okay, so we happen to have this long stroll from the Uber to the backside of this, and it just popped in his head. What if, I don't know, it was just kind of funny how that all worked out. But so we got in and everything went so fast. And then the ceremony was like, man, it was so weird for me. And now I've known Greg, and we've been friends since 7th grade.
Right.
And this entire time, I've said a lot of this in my best man speech, but this entire time, Greg's for the most part, been single. I mean, he's
Right.
had girlfriends and
Right.
he's had a couple longer term relationships, but
They've all been crazy except Molly.
yeah, I guess it finally hit me when she turned the corner and was about to walk down.
Did you get misty?
I did.
Did you really?
It was all the plants and stuff.
Really? Oh, it was the pollen. Yeah, sure.
Pollen.
Yeah, your allergies, right?
But I was like, holy crap.
Our kids getting married?
Yeah, it felt like that in a way because it was like, wow, I mean, I've known him for close to 30 years.
Right,
you know?
right.
And here he is, finally,
yeah,
getting married.
Which is awesome.
Weird.
Yeah, and I agree. It was really cool to see. Man, my ears are sweating. These headphones. Greg's headphones. Yeah, Greg, I sweated in your headphones. It was really cool. Not a lot of people do the whole do their own wedding vow thing, and they did, which is really cool. Molly said she was going to wing it, and I think she did wing it. I couldn't really tell if she had it prepared, but if she wung it or winged it, she's got balls of steel, man.
And that was another moment where, so seeing her begin to come up the aisle, it was a little bit emotional for me, and then hearing her recite her vows was like, I was like, holy crap.
That she had the not capacity, but the composure. To do that.
She didn't stumble.
Not at all.
It was extremely from the heart.
Not at all. Yep.
It totally seemed like she didn't even It seemed like she didn't even rehearse it, but at the same time,
I agree.
It seemed like she had been rehearsing it. I don't know.
It was very heartfelt and very. I agree. It did not seem rehearsed at all.
But it flowed so well.
It was perfect.
Are you teleprompting this?
Right.
I mean, it was just weird.
yeah.
So then it's ladies first.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
And
which
then,
I assume is tradition that the ladies go for. I don't know. I couldn't tell you for my wedding.
I never did any of that. So then Greg, he's up.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a piece of paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which we helped him with.
Yeah.
Somewhat,
right. Last week during the show. Yeah.
And his was he threw in a little humor.
Right. Oh, which you would have expected from Greg. Absolutely.
But his was good as well. And yeah, that was a pretty cool special moment. I'll be honest. There was a couple moments in there where I thought that maybe something really out of the ordinary would have happened, like a
true Greg moment.
Yeah, like they just would have like a record scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just
right.
Into
but he saved it for the reception, which was really cool, and we'll get to that in a moment.
Right.
No, the wedding was outstanding. It moved fast. The minister preacher. It was Molly's youth. Are you getting a beer?
Yeah,
I guess okay. Molly's youth pastor from when she was young did the ceremony. He did an amazing job. Kept things moving. It was not long. Man, what was it? 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes at the most. It was, it was great. So that was over. We had to be in a hurry to get out of there because that place is beautiful. They stack up weddings on Saturdays. So we were out of there 1:30.
It had to be. I think the time limits that you get in between are something like a half an hour to an hour.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And they just have ceremony after ceremony.
Yeah. And that seemed to work well. So we did pictures there. I guess you could say the formal pictures there. Wedding party, family, blah blah blah, standing at the scene of the event. And we got on the bus, right?
Yeah. Did you want to talk about those pictures at all, or anything?
I don't know what you're talking about. No, the way I explained the pictures because Greg's sister-in-law, Wendy, took amazing pictures of the day. Her pictures turned out amazing. She was competing with the professional photographers all day long, and she was giving them a run for their money, we'll just say. And so on the bus there was a pole. I'm not sure if it was there for safety or support or for other reasons. And at one point we stopped. And we were all bored, and I decided
to...
Now, wait, let me back up here a second, because the official response to this answer, or to this question, has been someone at work saw those pictures, because I'm posted on them, and said, oh my, the IT guy goes crazy.
That's embarrassing.
I said, no, there's a story. There's a rationale to this.
Uh-huh.
The bus was crowded, which everybody had a seat, I guess. But I gave my seat up. My rationale for holding on to the pole at that point was to give my seat up for the ladies on the bus. And I held on to the pole, and the bus was kind of moving.
Yeah.
And I had to hold on.
And then we hit a bump.
Right, yeah, and I started to fall backwards, and I hooked my leg around the pole. That's exactly...
That totally explains that shot.
I know. Rob and I both.
However, there was another shot.
Yeah, there is another shot. You're right.
And your rear end is firmly pressed up against the pole.
You cannot tell that from the picture, but you are correct. My rear end is within close proximity to the pole at the time.
Close proximity, huh?
Yeah, we'll just say close. But it was a great time. The bus was awesome. We went to Forest Park, the Grand Basin. We went to the Muni and had photos done. Another wedding party showed up. It's always fun when you're out having photos done like that, and another wedding party shows up. I think that's entertaining.
That groom, and I didn't realize he was at the groom at the time.
He was kind of weird. Yeah. I don't know if he was. I mean, he may have been buzzed out of his mind.
I don't know.
But he seemed kind of weird.
He seemed kind of silly. Yeah. He comes over and just about sits down next to Molly. Well, he was joking, but he's almost trying to sit down next to Molly and say, "Here's my bride." I don't know what he said.
Right. Yeah.
Something
I don't
along the
know.
lines of, this is where I go. This is my bride. Or
Molly wasn't having any of it.
No.
Yeah. So no, that was good. And then we went out and went to not quite Chesterfield Valley, but we went to I guess Maryville Center, to Del Mar Gardens, so Molly could see her grandma and have some pictures done with her grandma, which was absolutely wonderful and I'm sure a very heartfelt moment. Molly and Greg and her brother and his wife went in, and we all stayed on the bus, and that's where the bumpiness happened. And then we made our way.
The bus was parked.
Well, shut up! You didn't have to say that. That's inappropriate. And then we made our way back down to the tap room downtown, and man, my ears are sweating. Yeah, Greg, think of that. Then we made our way back down to the tap room. We did a, what do they call that? Mannequin challenge?
Oh yeah.
On the bus.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then we did a couple photos, Molly and Greg, outside the tap room.
Outside.
Which turned out really cool. I grabbed a couple on my phone that turned out really cool. I'm really anxious to see the professional photographers' photos. I think those will be really, really good.
Did you notice that building's a historic?
No, I didn't. Do you know why?
No, I took a picture of it and I didn't realize.
Oh, did you? You didn't realize it just happened to be in the background?
No, I took a picture specifically because it said historic site, historic building, but then I didn't read the details.
Oh, okay.
It's
awesome.
It's in the album.
Interesting. I wonder what for. We'll have to look.
We'll
look into that. But no, the tap room, and then you and I. Someone has got a photo of the two Joshes standing in the lobby of the tap room.
Yeah.
Holding I guess it was a bridesmaid's
It was my
bouquet?
wife's.
Oh, okay.
Bouquet or.
Holding that, we were both holding that, embraced as a couple. Would be the best term for that. And your comment as this was happening and people were coming in, because this is an operating restaurant, tap room, brewery. Your comment at the moment was,
I do? I don't remember. I don't remember.
No, your comment was something like, man, these people are going to think this is a gay wedding. So I'm curious. I don't remember if Wendy took that or Jeff with his phone.
Somebody took it.
We're going to have to find out who took that, because I think that would be a great photo. And it hasn't showed up or shown up in the
shared album.
The shared album anywhere. And Wendy or Greg uploaded 500 pictures.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was crazy.
So then people start showing up, and then we went to the tap room, or we were at the tap room. We went upstairs for the reception. That was a really neat room. There's a bar in there, and you're up on the second story of an old building, so you're probably being on the second story, you're probably a good 20 feet in the air.
Oh yeah.
And have a neat view, floor-to-ceiling windows, neat view of looking east on downtown. Unfortunately, due to some of the buildings, you couldn't see the arch, but you could see the federal courthouse, which was cool.
Yeah. Union Station?
Yeah, you could see Union. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you could see Union Station. Food was great. I will tell you, I had a piece of cake when they cut it.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. The cake I took home, it was
different? Like a different
Yeah, it was
layer?
a total. I guess it was a different layer.
Okay.
They had a couple different cakes. They had the main cake. Right. They had a sheet cake. And then they had the groom's cake. The groom's cake was the mug of beer looking thing. They had the main cake was like the 4 or 5 tiers, I guess.
I didn't see the sheet cake.
It was kind of behind, and that's what they cut first, I think, and that's the piece. And it was good. It was fine. The stuff I took home was awesome.
What did it look like?
It was a whole tier, and it had the groom and the bride on the top.
Oh.
No. I'm good. See, that's
crack yourself up.
Man, I'm cracking myself up. I worked on that joke all day long. No, but I'm serious. When we left, they had like to-go containers of the cake set up, like little, like almost like Chinese takeout containers.
Yeah.
And I dumped 2 into 1, or
okay.
1, however, I made 1 out of 2. Anyway, took it home. It was, I mean, and like I said, the piece I had there was amazing. What I took home was 1,000 times better.
Really? Huh.
It was very like almondy.
Huh.
Oh my God, it was awesome.
I had the same that I ate there.
Really?
Yeah.
No, the piece I took home was completely different than what I had there. It was fabulous. It was unbelievable cake.
Cool.
Very, very good cake. But I don't know where I was going with that story.
I don't know, but the reception was a lot of fun.
It was a blast. I am not a dancing person, and I'm sure that showed throughout the night.
I'm not
either. Greg and Molly's dance was awesome. Back to the Future, which you throw back to when I guess it wasn't the first time we met Molly, but I guess the first major event that Molly was at that Greg threw was that first Halloween party,
right.
And that was. We still have decorations from that back there.
Under the Sea.
And that, to me, that was the icing on the cake for the day. That was awesome.
And they danced.
The first part of it was this. I can't remember what the slow part was.
It's like Everly Brothers or
could have been
something like that.
And then about halfway through, they did the whole. Scratched the record and then went to the fast. Yeah. And then
Chuck
he.
Berry, right?
No, it wasn't that song.
No?
It was
What
one of
song
the hell.
Oh shoot! I was gonna watch it for show prep, but I forgot.
It was one of the other John Mellencamp. When did John Mellencamp?
It was music from.
It was music from that movie, yes, but it was a faster song. Anyway, I'm sure he'll have a complete rundown when he gets back.
If he's listening,
I'm sure. He's probably drunk or, doing honeymoon things now.
Earth Angel.
Earth Angel. Yes.
The first part. What's the second part in that?
And that, see, she's so good.
So smart.
Anyway, about halfway through Earth Angel.
Power of Love.
Power of Love.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. That brings up a whole other discussion. Eric commenting. Thank you, Eric. Power of Love. Yes. So about halfway through Earth Angel, they scratched the record and they changed to Power of Love, and Greg and Molly went out into the audience or crowd and drug people up on the dance floor, and that was awesome. So speaking of Eric, this has to be my highlight beyond the whole lovey-dovey thing of Greg and Molly getting married. The highlight of the reception is seeing Eric, Molly's brother, who is not a small person. He's got it. I mean, the dude towers over me. He towers over Greg, and Greg is like, what, 6'2"?
Yeah, he's probably like...
He's huge. He's like Andre the Giant large. He'll probably comment here how tall he is.
Like
the man is huge. That dude has got moves that are unbelievable. Any Michael Jackson song that came on, he knew the dance. I have a 3-minute video of him dancing to a Michael Jackson song that is out of this world.
That was fun.
That I'm sure his coworkers would love to see.
I'm sure.
Knowing what he does for a living, yes. No, the reception was outstanding. Everybody there was wonderful. And there's a few pictures of Mr. Sleeves and you and I and Mr. Sleeves' suspenders.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
He just I don't know. Well, we had been drinking.
In our teeth. are kind of in our teeth. Yeah,
kind of. Well, they were in my teeth.
Odd moment.
But you know, it just was funny. I mean, what time we got?
Why 5:50? Oh, jeez. I don't know why he never took off that super long shirt.
I don't know. Well, I guess it was about a half hour before everything was over. We started taking off our dress shirts.
Yeah.
And just our t-shirt, our superhero dress shirts. Oh wait, Eric commented and said, "Geez, you and all of my other friends, coworkers know all about it." Oh, that's awesome, Eric. So yeah, we stripped off the dress shirts about 3/4 of the way through the night because it was getting warm. Yeah, it was a good night. It was a great night.
It was, and the best part for me was, so afterwards everybody was there at the reception. It ended abruptly.
9:30. Yep.
And
which for me that was freaking stellar, man. 9:30. That's perfect.
It's a half an hour past your bedtime.
It's a half hour past bedtime, but I was up for the day. Yeah. It was perfect.
Dancing, so you had a little more energy.
Yep.
But so they turned on the lights or whatever, and we're cleaning up. We get everything out. We get everything loaded up, and I took Greg and Molly back to the hotel, back to the Hilton.
Yeah.
And on the way there, Molly said, "It was a perfect day. I can't think of one single thing that went wrong or one negative." And she said, everybody told her, "Don't worry, at least one thing will mess up. You'll have at least one problem or one negative or something won't go right." And she's like, "I can't think of one single thing."
You know what I attribute that to?
You and I.
Yes, exactly. The best man and a groomsman. Yes.
Of course.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, it was. I messaged Greg and Molly and said, it was awesome. I was extremely thankful to be a part of that day because it was so cool and what it meant obviously to them. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was a great day. Unfortunately, we were planning for snack today. We were planning on having wedding cake.
Oh man, you're gonna bring this up?
Yeah, but hopefully we can rescue this and have cake next week when Greg is back.
Yeah.
Greg will be back next week.
The groom's cake, right? Is that what you called it?
Oh, I didn't care what. I don't care what we eat.
Well, that's what we. Oh.
The mug.
The mug
was the groom's cake. Yes.
Yeah, that's what we were supposed to have.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, throw that thing in the freezer. Yeah. We'll eat it next week.
Right.
That cake was seriously awesome. That was really. Man, there was another story I was going to tell. I don't remember what it was. I don't know. But it was good.
It was.
I know what it was. It was about Mr. Sleeves. So Sunday.
I hope
Jeff is listening or watches this. Greg, you're gonna have to tell Jeff to watch this. So Sunday, you have to return your tux on Sunday, right? You got a story too?
No.
Okay.
I love this story.
So Sunday morning, we wake up and I'm like, okay, we got to take this tux back. We have to we might as well go up there and have lunch. And Annette and I were planning on having lunch. We did lunch. We actually did lunch at Pyology, that place. It's kind of a Subway for pizza. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's kind of in that shopping complex for South County Mall.
Okay.
But it's Pyology. It's a chain, and it's Subway for pizza. But I don't know that I would recommend it.
Okay.
The pizza was fine. The salad was awful. Anyway, so I take my tux. I grab my tux. We're heading up the highway. I'm early to everything. Obviously, 15 minutes early is on time to me. So we are at the mall at 10:45. The mall opens at 11, and I'm standing out there, and it's like I'm gonna go walk around looking, window shop, whatever. So I'm standing there with my tuxedo bag behind me, and the guy from Men's Warehouse comes out because the gate is like halfway up or whatever.
Yeah.
He comes out and says, "I'll take that for you." Okay, great, fine. He goes, "I'll be back with my receipt or with your receipt." Okay, cool. So, oh shoot, I forgot to text Annette what I want for dinner. So he takes my tux and goes in there and comes back out a couple minutes later, and gives me my receipt and hang on, I gotta.
Oh, he's trying to talk and type at the same time.
I can't do two things.
I know how the story ends.
So
you ran into Mr. Sleeves.
So I'm waiting around. I'm looking for Annette because she went walking and window shopping and stuff. So I'm waiting for her, looking for her. Can't find her. Finally, I see her. She comes up. We're like walking out of the mall, and I see Jeff, Mr. Sleeves. He's walking in with his tux and Logan's tux. He's returning them.
Yeah. I
said, "Hey, Sleeves, what's going on?" You gotta know Jeff. Jeff, he had this look about him that I'm pissed off at the world, and I'm gonna whip some ass.
Jeff's look. Yeah.
That's Jeff's look.
Angry.
So he says to me, and I quote, "I'm gonna go argue with these effers and get my money back." Now, he didn't say effers. He said the whole word.
Ooh,
in the middle of the mall, Jeff. So yeah, he was upset enough to be ready.
I want to
know. He was ready for a fight.
I want to know what the result was.
You know what? I don't know what the result was, but I will tell you that he thought so much of himself to go into Men's Warehouse before the gate was fully up. He ducked underneath that gate.
So you were outside, and
hell yes, I was out. That gate wasn't up.
He was under the gate.
They weren't open yet. I was outside. I was standing in the middle of the mall.
Wish Jeff could call in and tell us.
Oh, I'm sure we'll have. I'm sure Greg will talk to Jeffrey.
That's funny.
But you know what? It was.
I do have a tiny story to go along with the tuxedo return, and this might be a really bad best man thing to do. But I had a really busy Sunday coming up, so Greg and Molly.
Did you make Greg take your tux back?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? You know what? I don't know that that's a foul.
He was in the city. He was
sure.
coming back. It was not out of his way.
Right.
I had everything ready and available. All he had to do was take in 2 bags. I hope he did it.
So did you?
Because I never got confirmation.
So you got a $1,000 bill coming on your credit card for the tux.
I thought for sure that I would get a confirmation email sent to me because they were sending emails like, "Hey, your tux is ready."
You know what? I didn't get one either. I have a receipt that says I returned it, but I didn't get I didn't get an email saying I returned it. So did you give it to him Saturday night then?
Yeah, whenever.
Because I saw you changed. Yeah, right.
I got to the hotel. I just said, "Here."
Hey, you know what? I've been in 2 or 3 different weddings. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of friends. But a couple of the weddings have done that, where like the parents of the bride or the parents of the groom will say, "You know what? All the groomsmen, give me your tux the night of the reception. Bring clothes, change into. They don't want you walking around naked. But give us your tux, and we'll return it for you, so you don't have to worry about that."
That's a nice idea.
Which is nice. So so that's cool. You let Greg do that for you.
I felt a little bit guilty, and obviously it's still in my mind.
He was returning his own.
He was returning.
You know what
Yes.
Go ahead.
What you're gonna say? He said
the best man's what they should have done was offer to return Greg's.
Greg said he should be returning mine.
Greg doesn't cuss. He wouldn't have said that. I don't believe that for a second.
He was cool about it though, but I just hope that he returned it and just throw it out the window.
We've dropped down to 1 listener. You can tell it's time to. What time we got? What time we got? 6:02. Man. Okay.
Let's see if I can.
So.
Oh, you know what? We didn't even. You know what? You know what we didn't.
You know what?
Today? You know what? We never even looked at the.
We didn't look at the agenda one bit. No, hey, this show rolled without Greg.
That's right.
Greg, Mr. Regiment, we have to have an agenda.
It was all about Greg.
But it wasn't about Greg. It was about Molly. And Molly, yes, it was about Molly. So,
all right.
Next week, Greg will be back in studio, I hope, so he can wrangle the computer crap. I'm pretty proud of us, honestly, Josh, because neither of us have touched.
No,
because he gets really cranky if you kind of horn in on his stuff.
Yeah.
So no, we have never touched any of this. We got Facebook live stream rolling. We've gone through an entire show without it locking up, which is better than like 3 of our episodes were.
Yeah.
I know. So next week, Greg's back. I don't know. Do we have anything special next? We might have wedding cake, maybe.
Honeymoon.
Oh, honeymoon recap. So it seems like, not to spoil anything, but it seems like their honeymoon consists of getting just completely plastic.
Well, Molly dubbed it Beery Moon.
Oh, did she really?
Yesterday,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Beery Moon.
Beery Moon, yes,
Yeah.
because they've gone to craft breweries, and I think that today it was all about distilleries, right? Because didn't he messaged us? He messaged us earlier and said that he's got like 3 bottles of moonshine and 3 bottles of whiskey.
Yesterday, I know they went to at least 3 breweries.
Yeah,
that is awesome.
In Asheville, which is like 2 hours away from Gatlinburg,
Right.
which is where they're staying, which is cool.
And he said there's like 80 in the
22 or something in Asheville there. Yeah, so they're not gonna have anything to worry about. I know they were wanting to hit the Biltmore Mansion. So, like I said, Greg's back next week.
Great episode.
This was a great episode.
Might be the best episode ever.
You know what? Considering what we've accomplished,
it's right up there.
You know what? It might be 1 or 2. I agree.
34.
So,
amazing.
Do I dare ask where we can be found?
StuckInBetaPodcast.com.
That's our new website.
That's our new website.
Right.
You can find all of our socials there. Stuck in Beta Podcast. We are on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram.
Right.
We also have a email account at stuckinbetapodcast@gmail.com.
Yes. And you can download our podcast from iTunes as well as Stitcher as well as Google Play. Is there another one?
Oh.
He always
say
does this crap. I said iTunes.
iTunes.
Yeah. I don't remember anything. Yeah, I don't remember anything else. So come back next week to figure out where you can find us. Other than that, you got our music ready? We didn't have a snack this week. We didn't talk about beer this week.
No.
It was all about Greg.
Yep.
And Molly. More Molly than Greg. All right, hit it if you're ready.
Love you guys.
Oh, hell. We went this far. Come on, man.
It's playing. It says it's playing.
It ain't playing. Oh, are you muted?
Oh, do I not need to be muted? Muted?
Well,
that's probably going to mess up something.
It probably will. We'll take it. It ain't playing.
Are
you muted? Hit play. You got to still hit play, right? There we go.